Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. How do we like this? What's going on with you today? Today we're talking poop. We do that a lot. Those of y'all that may be here for the first time or you're catching this on a replay, this is a live stream we do where we talk to plumbers, apprentices, plumbing company owners. We got people that want to get into the trades that are coming in here and learning things. If you've never been here before and you're catching us for the first time, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. But you may want to hang out for a minute and watch this, even if it's pre-recorded, because there's a lot of questions in here that get asked that maybe might be something you have a question about. If not, you want to jump out and click over to another video. We've got videos that actually answer questions that everybody has about all things plumbing. So if there's anything that you've got in particular while you're in here, man, jump in, give us a shout and let us know. But like I said, if you hadn't been here before, subscribe and ring the bell. That way you're aware of what we're doing, when we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And hopefully you can hang around and learn about all things plumbing. Again, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. Started this channel, about 2 years ago, and I love helping people all about plumbing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick because we've got people in here already. We got Eli to Fly. How are you? I'm gonna ask you about moving from New York to Texas for plumbing. Man, I love it. We're always looking for plumbers here in Texas, and man, what a great place to be. I mean, Texas, that is. And let me make sure that, oh yeah, got everything working good. There we go. Got Eli out there. Jack's Plumbing Videos is in the house. Eddie Zahil Canas, man, I hope I got that right. We are doing fantastic. Hope everything is going well with you. And man, did everybody have a good weekend? This is Monday and I have been running like crazy, but God, such a wonderful day. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but man, it's wonderful. Mo says, Mo's got it made. Mo says, I like the timing. This is starting right about the time I get off work. Mo's from Colorado. We got Southern Mama Drama from Charlotte, North Carolina in the house. Good to have everybody in here. Man, we got more. It is filling up quick in here. Roman Mercher, how come LP can be running copper while natural gas only black pipe? Roman, the thing is, the effect that it has on that material. And man, I used to run a lot of LP, and I say used to, I did one big job. There's a cool project. It is a fire. It is a training assembly. I think it's a M80 jet that we piped full of LP so they can simulate fires in it. It's out by DFW. And man, I'm telling you, when they set that puppy on fire, everybody around knows it's a big, big deal. But man, I got to pop that and do that. So it was a lot of fun. Curiosity's in the house. Man, you got to love it when curiosity is in the house. Here's a top-notch question. Can PEX be attached to copper? It can be, but here's the thing. It's all in how you do it. A lot of people will recommend, and I'm going to say the word here, shark bite fittings. I don't recommend them. Yeah, you can solder an adapter onto copper, and then you can crimp it if it's type B. You can Uponord if it's type A. A lot of different things you can do, but absolutely. That's a very good question. So thank you for jumping in and asking. Barney Films 85 in the house. Good to see you. Roman Metcher says, how come? Oh, man, boy, I thought I hit that one a while ago. Okay, yeah, you asked twice. Good. That one's covered. As you see, we have the amazing Paul Peck drywall tube in the house. Guys, if you have not subscribed to Paul Peck, jump over there and do it. Even if you're on the replay, jump over there and do it. Paul is one of the coolest sheetrockers, trimmers. Man, the stuff he does is amazing. And I say trim, sheetrock, trimming out, taping bed, all the good stuff. He's got a great channel, great videos, very informative. And man, he's got all the stuff that you need. You just click on something, go get it. And he teaches you how to do it, how to use it, and it works. Paul Peck, great seeing you in here, brother. Jack's Plumbing Video says, I never like to use tubular dishwasher Y's. I use Schedule 40Y from Complas. Complas is a Canadian plastic fitting company. That's cool. Uh, yeah, take a picture of it and send me a picture to video@rogerwakefield.com. And yeah, I'd like to see what that is. Or email me a link to that and I'll check it out. Uh, Sounds good. Hoping to run into you if I move there in a few years. You know what? Man, don't wait a few years. Come on. We're always looking for plumbers. Womble says which? I'm not sure. Matt Lemire snapped 6-inch cast iron today about 30 times. Gets tough. I'll tell you what. Tell me this, Matt. Which cutters were you using? And I asked because, there's there's the ratchet cutters. There's the big snap cutters. Man, you're right. It will wear you out. And cutting about 6 joints today, that won't just wear you out. Installing that pipe will too. So Jack's Plumbing Video says SharkBite push fittings are good for people who don't take pride in their work. Man, I get it. And I've had so many people wearing me out again lately, about SharkBites and the same thing. People saying, look, you shouldn't call people professional or say that people are not professional just because they put those in. But it's like, man, if you're selling yourself as a professional, you're doing a job. Yeah, I'm going to say I got a problem with it, but that's just me. Womble says, hi, what do you think is better, a solder joint or a push fit for durability and installation without leaks? Man, that's already been answered. Womble. Man, I don't like SharkBite fittings, but I got to tell you, and I normally don't admit to stuff like this. I literally woke up in the middle of the night thinking about a push type fitting that I think would work. And I literally at 6 this morning was in the kitchen feeding my dog, and I'm drawing it up like, okay, this would work. Because we're doing a job right now where we've got a problem, too much PEX ran in areas that I don't agree that you run it, and the reduced flow from the reduced fittings, including the ball valve, which just blows my mind. Anyway, my thought was, man, is there any better way to design this? And I believe it or not, I think I have. We have the one, the only, the beautiful, my wife, my boss, Miss Julie Wakefield in the house. Great to have you here, honey. So, man, what's going on with y'all? And I asked because, make sure that I got everybody covered, and I think that I do. Looky there. I like that. So, and Paul Peck's a moderator. Be nice to him. He will tape and bed you on the way out if you don't. The neat thing is, number one, it's been a great week. I keep talking to y'all about my sponsor wall being empty. We are actually talking to people, and actually, really even more than that, we are getting really close to a sponsorship agreement, and I can't wait for it because I think it's a great deal that's going to be good for not just me, but be good for the trade. And when I say the trade, I mean the plumbing trade, but there's a lot of other things going on that we're working on that we really want to be able to help people with, and it's something that I look forward to. Sorry about that. I had to get a sip of water. Southern Mama Drama, you're right. If I do, I will patent it. And look, I've worked with some great companies. And I got to tell y'all that because, most of y'all know that we gave away a leak detection, I'm going to say kit, the plumber's leak detection set just over a month ago. That was from Leaktronics. I've talked to Darren Merlobe. I've actually worked with him. I'm trying to help design a product for him, strictly for plumbers, that I think would be great. And of course, Darren's a smart guy. He's going to change it, and he's going to make it for pool people and everybody else too. I have actually gone and up to Seattle and talked to a company, a manufacturer of a frostproof, that I think if they modified it, man, we could sell millions of them. Y'all know that I've talked about Meter Dog before, been talking to them about their product, how I can help them and what I can do for them. man, there's so many amazing things. But then I had another great idea this weekend, and actually talked to the guy at Vito Pro Pack saying, look, I've got an idea. And so there's a lot of different things going on, but man, I love the fact that we have possible sponsorship opportunity coming in. We've been talking to them for a little while, and man, they're like, hey, look, we want to work with you and the people that you want to work with and do things with you. So guys, we're working on some good things, and I'm just saying, pray for us. I hope it all comes out and works well. We're really, really excited about it, and hopefully it happens soon. So Southern Mama says, patent it. Man, I get it, brother. Javi HW, Mr. Cowboy for Life. Mr. Cowboys for Life. I like that. How you doing, brother? Are you here in Dallas? And I asked because we're just outside of the Dallas area, so that's kind of neat. And I like that he's hitting the like button. Pretty cool. Jack's Plumbing Video says, in the 70s and 80s, PVC fittings were yellow. I didn't start using PVC fittings till the mid 80s. It was probably 84, 85, somewhere around in there, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But I only remember them being white. Now CPVC it still kind of got that yellow tint to it, but I only remember white PVC, but man, there's no telling. Okay, so Matt says, I use the ratchet snaps for the cast iron, remodeling UW, Parkside College in Wisconsin. Okay, University of Wisconsin, Parkside College. All trades are there. It's hectic, but a great learning experience. Matt, good for you. I actually got to go up to Milwaukee, and I'm not sure where Parkside is, but flew up to Milwaukee, drove up to Fond du Lac, and was up there with Ahern Mechanical in a big mentorship group. So it was really pretty cool. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Paul says, congrats. Man, I got to tell you, awesome. I got to tell you, Paul, and look, I've talked to you for a long time about this. There's great things going on. And man, with the content and that's why I tell people, look, go over and jump on Paul's channel, check it out, subscribe, listen to what he does. Man, there are some good people out here doing good things. And man, you're right. It is awesome. It's wonderful. I think great things are going to happen, but it's going to allow other great things to happen too. So I'm really, really excited about it. OSO says, I'm eager to start my career. Do you think it wise to start with the company soon if I plan on moving out of state before the end of the year? Man, I love this, and I think this is a good question. What I would tell you is, if it was me, I would be trying to get as much experience as I could right now. And if that means that I go to work for a company, even if it's just for 6 months left in the year, yes, learn everything you can. That may be enough to help you say you go to work for a great company where you're at. If you leave and come to Texas and get a job down here and I hire you, number one, you can now tell me, look, I've got experience. I know how to set toilets. I know how to remove a water heater. I know how to do whatever it is you can learn. So yeah, I would say definitely get as much experience as you can. Y2KXJ, I like that, says, greetings from Ontario, Canada. Good to have you here. My screen just jumped on me. There we go. Welcome. Welcome to you, all the way from right here in Dallas, Texas. Javi HW says, I tried your muriatic acid tip on your toilet, but it still seems to be flushing a little slow. Maybe not the first flush, but definitely the second flush. And there's a lot of different things. It can be that. Cleaning out those holes is huge. Is the float adjusted properly on the fill valve? Is the flapper working properly and staying up till the water level gets down to it? There's a lot of different things it can be, but man, that's good stuff. Here's a good one. Johnny Ramirez says, hey, Roger, what's the scale for plumbers in Texas with entry level to master? In Texas, they don't look at, entry level. Let's start there. First year apprentices are 50%. I believe right now journeyman scale is about $34. So that means entry level is 17, and they get a 5% raise twice a year. Let me correct that. Yeah, 5% twice a year, meaning 50, 55 year one, 60, 65 year two, 70, 75 year three. Once they get up to 85, they don't get a raise till they turn out. So journeyman scale is about 34, master, whatever. Now there's percentages for foreman and superintendent depending on what all you do, but cool stuff. Javi HW says he's in El Paso. Man, I like it out there. I actually had to go to Las Cruces, New Mexico to do a job. Went through El Paso, had a great dinner at a steakhouse. Don't remember the name of it, but it was like, I think just coming out of town on the way out. Got to go by Barnett's Harley shops, get some shirts and stuff. I mean, had a wonderful time. So I like it out there. It's beautiful. David Spevacek, I hope I got that right. What are the pros and cons of working for a larger company, larger plumbing company, as to a small one? I'd say and that's really good, David. I like that. I think that, the cons are you can get into a company and just be a name or just be a number. You can just be another person on the list. But I've worked for some big companies, and luckily, I guess I had moved up because I always knew the owners. The owners always knew me. And things like that are good because if you ever want to grow in a company, people need to know who you are. But then again, in a small company, man, it's more personal. You know the owners personally, the service managers, the operations managers, the dispatch. We all know everybody. There are people at big companies that don't even know who answers the phone there. But I mean, some of the big companies that I worked for here had 400 or 500 employees. It's hard to know who everybody is in a company like that. And man, I completely get it. Jonathan Fain says, hey, Roger, I'm a second-year apprentice from Kentucky. Been trying to learn as much as possible about plumbing, and your videos have certainly been a big help. Thanks for being awesome. Jonathan, thank you, man. I appreciate you, number one, watching. Number two, jumping in on the live. Man, I think that is so cool because, look, people like Paul, people like me, we do this because we love helping other people. And I've had a lot of plumbers send messages to me saying, dude, I'm pissed at you. You're taking money out of our pocket. It's like, come on, man. I showed somebody how to change a flapper. Now, I know that I show a few more things like that, but still, most people aren't going to do it. So I love the fact, Jonathan, that you got in here. You're learning, you're seeing things, and man, you can come in and ask questions, leave comments. I think that's great. So thank you very much. Okay, Jack's video says PVC turned white in the very early 80s. I have a bunch of them, and they are the color of someone's teeth that haven't been brushed. You know what? I mentioned a picture a while ago, Jack. I believe I've changed my mind. I think I'm good. Because now that visual will never go away. Hampus Anderson says, hello, how are you doing? Garrett Potts, no comment. Man, I don't know if I missed you. Did you say something earlier? Man, if so, put it in again. I'm sorry. A plumber's life. What is a LEED endorsement you talk about and have? LEED is a nationwide designation. It is normally for architects and engineers. It stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. I have had I've been a LEED AP for about 10 years, I believe. I used to work for some very large mechanical contractors that built some of the biggest buildings in Dallas. And I had moved up to quality control manager, things like that. So what happened was, as I moved up, I started being responsible for a lot of things on the LEED project, and I wanted to learn more about it. So what I did is I went and talked to one of the vice presidents one day, told him that I wanted to become a LEED AP, and he told me, no, you don't. I said, no, really, I do. He said, no, he says, here's the deal. He says, I've got engineers that can't pass that exam. Well, I'm pretty hard-headed, and I kind of said, no, look, I really want to do it. And I told him, if I don't pass it, I'll pay to take it again until I do. Man, once I got the study guide in and realized And I thought that book was written in Russian. That's how far off it was. Made no sense to me. But I studied it, I learned it, I took my test, and I passed. So I am a lead AP, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. The AP stands for Accredited Professional, and it's through the United States Green Building Council Institute or something like that, USGBCI. So, man, that's a lot to say, but man, I love it. Is it common for large sizes of copper pipe to be difficult to work with? I've been struggling with a batch of 1.5-inch tubing for a few weeks. Have to file it to get the fittings on. You know what, Zachary, man, sometimes yes. Think about it. It takes just a little bit of an egg shape to make that fitting almost impossible to put on. I recommend a file is great, a rubber mallet, something like that, that can give you leverage. But yeah, man, it can be a pain in the tail. Plumber Works, hello, third-year apprentice from South Jersey. Man, and look, I'm going to be honest and tell you, look, I don't know my way around Jersey. I've been there. How far are you from Piscataway? I spent a little bit of time in Piscataway, and I mean very little, a couple of days. But actually flew into New York, or flew into Boston, drove to New York, drove to Jersey, man, drove all around that area. It was beautiful there. Matt Lentz says, hope all is well in Dallas. Your home province of New Brunswick is doing pretty good. Keeping the corona out and service plumbing is going full tilt. Matt, good for you. Got my buddy Big John in here. Says, you do it. If y'all hadn't, that's another one. If you hadn't subscribed, man, go check out his channel. Hey, brother, I was dropping your name all weekend, talking YouTube, especially to Emery, such an awesome human. Man, that's cool. I sent a message to Jaworski, I guess you saw, saying, hey, man, look, I used to be a Cowboy fan. So, Southern Mama Drama says, will you be speaking at the Grow with Video conference? Which one is that? I want to make sure before I say yes, because I have been asked to speak at a few different conferences. That one sounds familiar. And if it's the one that I'm thinking, which I'm pretty sure that it is, how did you hear about that? That's just my question. Jack's video says, what are the pros and cons of CPVC? Then the pros of CPVC are the temperature. That's why we can run CPVC on the TMP outlet discharge, or for the outlet discharge on the TMP. You know, out in the country, man, I've seen entire houses run with CPVC. I don't know. I've heard of it being done in a lot of places around here. We use PEX, Uponor, things like that, but we don't run a lot of water lines with CPVC. So love it. HVAC with Greg. How are we doing today? Got to work on the school roof today on your HVAC units. Saw the top of the plumbing stack vent and smell it. It wasn't the best smell ever. You know what? Come on, grow a pair. I mean, HVAC, plumbing, I mean, a pair of nostrils that don't get offensive. Please don't take that wrong. Anyway, hey, smells like money. Plumber WRX says, I work for a small company. Best way to describe it is that we're like a family. You know what? And man, I feel like that's the way we are. And there's 4 of us out in trucks, looking for 1 or 2 more. But you know what? It is what it is. But I got to tell you, with this many of us here, it's easy to have the culture that we want to have. It's easy to do wonderful things. So I'm really digging it. Really digging it. So congratulations. Nate Big Dog says, needs sewer line repair and remodel on slab on grade. Bathrooms are back to back, 20 feet of slab edge. Do you feel it's better to trench or cut out the lines? You know, Nate, man, I'm one of these. I'd have to see the actual footprint and how it lays out. If you can get in from trenching under the edge, I don't like to bust up concrete in a house if I don't have to. You've got the silica dust everywhere. You've got a lot of different things going on. My thing is, you know, the trenching and tunneling from underneath or from the outside, to me, it's better for the customer. But you've got to make sure that you do things right. That way the plumbers are safe. There's never a problem. or anything at all like that. The last thing we want to do is put plumbers in harm's way. So I always look at it like that. Now, yeah, I like this Jeep 2.4. Man, I'm a Jeep driver. If you hadn't seen it in my videos, I drive a Jeep. I either drive a Jeep or a Chevy truck. So, which I don't have my Chevy truck right now, so it's always a Jeep or a Harley Davidson. Man, wouldn't that look great up on this wall? Let me just throw that up. Harley Davidson. Wouldn't that look amazing? Hey, Roger, thank you for your self-help videos. How can you tell if you have a clogged vent pipe without getting on the roof? Have a master bathroom sink drain that gurgles when it finishes emptying. You probably do have a clogged vent, although it could be a clogged drain. Man, getting up on the roof is going to be the only way unless you can get in the attic and cut the line apart. I don't know if it's PVC or cast iron. If you do get in the attic and cut it, remember that piece going up. You know, you've got a flashing up there that's keeping everything good. Don't just set it aside. It will fall down if nothing's got it secured or anything. But, man, lots of different ways to get there, but either in the attic or on the roof. Oh, wait, it jumped on me. I hate when it does that. Let me jump way back over here and see if I can get, I have no idea. I found it. Thank you for answering. Much appreciated. Love the videos. Learning so much. Keep up the great work. Avi, thank you, sir. HVAC with Greg. Only 5 months till I can get on with the HVAC company and do co-op. Half the time work with the company and half the time do school. And I think that's great. I like that. I'm more than excited to move on and be an apprentice. Hampus Anderson says, I've learned many tips and tricks from your videos that I will definitely use. Thanks for what you do. Man, don't thank me. Thank y'all. And ask Paul and you do it in them about stuff like this. Look, to have y'all in here every week, I mean, we've got almost 50 people in here right now. To have y'all come in every week and visit and say hi and ask questions and participate. And look, I've got other plumbers that jump in here and they answer questions. And look, I love this community. And talk to Paul, talk to Big John. Man, these are amazing people that, I mean, number one, hearts of gold, but number two, they're good human beings. And man, a lot of times these guys, Big John teaches people how to do plumbing, how to remove a tub drain, how to buy the tool, where to get the tool, what tool you need. Paul Peck teaches so many things about sheetrock. I can't even keep up with all of it. But man, I love going over there and watching. And Paul, I hate to tell you, I'm one of these people, I watch your videos when I drive down the road. And man, just watch your video, chill, listen to what you do, laugh at you, laugh with you, all the good stuff. And man, some great people. So it's really cool. Jack's Plumbing Videos says there's a concrete plate in the basement of your 1926 house. I think there's a main check valve or clean out. And it very well could be. They used to pour pads like that to cover clean outs and stuff. I've also seen those popped up and it's like a lid on something, so never know. HVAC with Greg says, hello, Paul. Exit 2, NJTP, Plumber Works, hanging in the Wildwood. Gotta love it. Zachary Kent says, picked up a rubber mallet this weekend to stop using my masters. Helps a lot. The wood ones, I don't know what they used to be, and it may not be wood, but it was like a composite wrapped or something. Man, keep you from damaging fittings. Southern Mama Drama. Like I said, what makes you think I would be speaking at that? And I'm just asking. Super Applegate says, do you recommend testing TMP valves every year as manufacturers recommend? Here's the deal. Man, this is a good one. I like this. If we go out every year and test the entire water heater and everything, absolutely. If you use it on a regular basis, even if it's just once a year, and I tell people, look, when they're flushing them, open that up. Flush some water out from there too. That way everything's good. Here's the thing is, man, if you go out and do it and it hadn't been done in 5 or 6 years and it leaks, somebody's going to be mad at you. They're going to say it's all your fault that it's leaking. Why did you do that? So, man, be very, very careful. Big John says, I told Emery you're live streaming. He's going to pop in. I love that. HVAC with Greg, your house is run with ABS and the plastic white lines that look like PEX. Not sure the name though. If it's white, it may be PVC, which is scary. And it may be white PEX. White PEX is out there, so there's no telling. It's an older style pipe. I think the one that breaks easily. The one that really broke easily that we had problems with here in Texas was a PB, a polybutylene. Normally, man, mid 80s to mid 90s, somewhere right around in there. Colin Sullivan says best pipe dope. Man, the best dope's whatever's the cheapest and does the job. Oh, pipe dope. Let me correct that. Sorry about that. Me, I like RectorSeal T+2. And when it comes to tape, PTFE, but I'm sure I got something messed up there. I like the Blue Monster, but when I use pipe dope, and look, I had an engineer teach me, and I'll have people bust my tail all the time. I put Teflon tape on it, and then pipe dope on top of that, and until somebody can prove to me that that's going to be the end of the world, I will probably keep doing it. You Do It says, hello, Greg. Good to see all these people here, man. This is great. Julie, you're so right. Harley Davidson as a sponsor would just look amazing. And I know they should be up there. I mean, we're plumbers. We lay pipe. They're Harley Davidson. I mean, it's like it just goes together. Man. Super J back in the house. As you read this, I'm digging by hand, installing a two-way cleanout, then performing a hydrostatic test. The house is on hold until hydrostatic test was supposed to close tomorrow. You know what, brother? And look, I'll tell you, just so you know, I don't call them a hydrostatic test. I call them a sewer water test. And I have that argument with real estate agents here in Texas. The only reason being, and I know they all call it that, but I like to try to educate them and say, look, if you go to Wikipedia, a hydrostatic test requires a hydrostatic pump. And that's why one of the big older real estate brokerages in Dallas used to have it in their contract that you could not do that unless you agreed to fix anything under the house that you broke. Tell them, well, that I'm not doing it, but I'm going to tell the buyer not to buy your house because you apparently think there's already a break down there. So anyway, kind of funny, but that's the way I look at it. And man, you're right. I love it too. So thank you, man. I appreciate you jumping in here. I know, Julie, Big John's killing it on YouTube. HVAC with Greg says, isn't a gurgling toilet a sign of a blocked vent? Whenever someone at our house flushes the toilet in the bathroom sink, kitchen sink, washer, standpipe, and bathtub, sometimes I can tell there's some kind. And here's the deal. If the drain is starting to clog, you can get gurgling at different places. And I tell people, when your plumbing's talking to you, it's telling you there's something wrong or something fixing to be wrong. Think about it, guys. Y'all know what kind of noises your plumbing system should and should not make. When it starts making them other noises, that's when you got to say, hey, got to figure out what to do. HVAC, as Greg says, of white cap on the top from the ground, we have a septic tank. There you go. Got Jeff Ostrafa in here. How are you doing? Hi, Roger Wakefield. Guy on one of my videos on a leaky P-trap repair told me he switched to a P-trap with that brushed wheel in the middle. I think that violated South Skyline Plumbing Code. I believe that you're right. I've seen those. I've actually gone over to people's houses that have them before. Man, that's one that, you'd have to ask somebody a lot more engineer-oriented than me. I know that they've been selling them because, like I said, I've seen them installed. I think it's a good principle behind it, but number one, I would never install one, and it's not just because I don't want people to be able to wash out their own P-trap. Man, just stuff like that, I just kind of get wondering about, like, what's this going to really do later? Septic tank has been pumped in 5 to 10 years. Landlord says just to pour Red X in it once a month. I've never had a septic system. I've never been on a septic system. So I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I tell you what, it takes special people, even here in Texas, and we're in Dallas and, near the country. And I don't even mess with them. I will fix anything on the plumbing prior to it. But man, once it gets to the septic tank, we don't jack with it at all. Super Applegate says, what's my view on PB piping? I have a house full of it. Seems to be in good shape with copper connections, not plastic. You know, and we were talking about PB a while ago, polybutylene. The chlorine in the water damages the pipe. And that is one of the biggest problems that we have around here with relays, water services coming from the meter to the house. Somebody asked about that the other day about, you know, why I get mad about new products. Am I just a dinosaur? And, you know, maybe I am. But at the end of the day, man, if it's a bad, faulty product, it is what it is. So my thought is, I don't know that there's anything to worry about, but I would probably check my chlorine level a lot more often than most people, because I would want to know, is that a possibility? Now, if anything happens, what's going to happen? The chlorine made it brittle and made it crack and things like that. So when you get a leak, it's probably going to be a pretty good one. So that's just something that I would check on a normal basis. Y'all have heard me talk about Meter Dog, that they're trying to get those finished up on the final phase, which is a valve that shuts off. So you've got an app, and when your meter goes crazy, it's going to let you know, and you press the button and shut the water off to your house. They're coming, guys. They are coming. Big John says, hello, Jeff. Man, Jeff is doing neat things. You know, Home Depot, Lowe's. I remember the first time I saw that, walking through, I thought, man, that is really pretty cool. Love the things you're doing. Jeff, keep it up, man. James Cardona says, air gap versus air brake, what's the difference? An air gap, an air brake, you've got built in the assembly. An air gap, you can literally just turn a line over 90 down and leave that gap. Either way, you want 1.5 times pipe size. That's what it is. A great place to see it is the UPC Illustrated Plumbing Guide. I've got the UPC Study Guide, but the Illustrated Plumbing Codebook is fantastic. It shows you all kinds of fun stuff like that, which stuff we all need to know. HVAC with Greg says, our house was built in 1993, so it does match up with the time period for that style of pipe. There you go. Diana 2507, 16-year-old, interested in doing plumbing, and after starting to watch your videos, I've learned loads of things, and you encouraged me to continue this thought for my future job. Thanks a lot. I'll tell you what, and Diana, here's the thing, and I'm assuming by the name you're a female. I think female plumbers make some of the best plumbers. And the reason I say that, look at the top plumbers in the state of Texas. The executive director for the Texas State Plumbing Board, a lady named Lisa Hill. The former chief plumbing inspector in Dallas, a lady named Diane Villarreal. An engineer who teaches plumbers continuing education, Mary Conger. And I could name a couple of more, but, you know, man, there's some good ones there. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not all good, but there are some good ones, and you can learn a lot of good things about this trade. I think women study it more, and I think that's what helps them move up to a higher level. So I just want to say, Diana 2507, congratulations, and I hope you do. Please message me, let me know how it goes, let me know what I was going on. I know you're 16, so you're not there yet, but I think that's fantastic. Super J, sewer and water test. Aaron R, thank you very much. And Jeff says, I have polybutylene in my house, bathroom toilet supply dripped outside wall. I could not find any legit parts for PB. I used a SharkBite poly to copper converter coupler, outside wall only. You know, and Jeff, I get it. I tell people, look, we do not do PB repairs. And my reason is, now look, you're repairing your own house. I have no problem with that. But my issue is, if me as a plumber, I go in and do a repair and then it leaks again a day later, a week later, a month later, you're mad at me saying, look, I already paid y'all to fix it and you didn't fix everything. So that's why we don't do it. Super J, I took 103. Are you crying? I tell you what, I took a picture on my phone. I need to post this, and I guess I'm going to have to do it on LinkedIn. So if y'all aren't connected with me on LinkedIn, jump over there, send me a connection request. I took a picture of my thermostat in my Jeep the other day. I climbed in to take off, and man, I knew it was hot, and I reached out and hit the temperature. As soon as I did, I wished I wouldn't have, because it was 116. By the time I could get my camera out of my pocket, wipe the sweat out of my eyes, find the app, hit my camera, wipe the sweat out of my eyes a second time, line my camera up to take the picture, wipe the sweat out the third time, and took the picture, it was down to 113. So I'm just telling you, 103, really? I mean, well, okay, you are on a shovel. So, no, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. Man, it does get hot out there, brother. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drink lots of water and hydrate more. Super J, love that. Syed Ahmad, this guy's awesome. I'm assuming you're talking about Super J because he's out working in 103 temperature, not me, and I agree. He's awesome. Justin Kegerized, how are you? Can I talk to you about the difference between PEX and Quest pipe? Yeah, we've kind of talked a little bit about that. PEX is amazing. PEX A, PEX B. Quest, we've really kind of gotten away from here in Texas. It's all PEX now. And I like PEX A because it's expandable. I love the Uponor. I don't really like the crimp rings as much, but I use them. So, yes, indeed. Super Applegate says, twin hot water tank. Should these be parallel or inline plumbed? I've heard both with reasonable justification. I like parallel, not series. I like parallel with isolation valves where if one goes down, you can shut it down. You don't lose anything. People can still have hot water. Series, I've never had anybody explain it to me why series is a better way. Unless you're looking for more flow. God, there used to be a formula that I studied when I did my certified plumbing designer thing. It's like series flow, parallel pressure, something like that. I don't remember. I know y'all gonna laugh at me now. I prefer parallel because I like the ability to be able to isolate one, but I'm one of these anal plumbers that when I pop it in, every measurement is exactly the same number of 90s. I want it to be pipe systematic. That way there's laminar flow all the way through it, nothing to worry about. Look at this. Urban Explorers in the house. I was talking good about you earlier. How are you, Neil? Good to see you. Good day, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Sorry you've been missing. It's been full-on work with this new van build. I love it. And that's another one. If y'all have not subscribed to the Urban Explorer, jump over there and subscribe. Love what you're doing over there, brother. Keep it up. John, I don't know that we have all the mods in. Pexter's in here, or he was. And I have not seen Will Rosebrock in here. So I don't think they're all in here right now. Speaking of plumbing, says, man, where'd that go? There we go. Speaking of plumbing, Neil just installed a throne in his van and plugged it straight into his house. I'm not even going to touch that one, Big John. I got to tell you, Neil, I love it. I mean, if you need me to send you some plumbing stuff or you got questions, brother, I am here to help you out. Big John says, doing great, Neil. Congrats on sponsor button. Check that out. Wait for the toilet and shower delivered the other day, but I have a lot to do before you fit them. Man, that is great. You know what? The channel members, that's cool. Neil, I think that's great. I love it. Yeah, that's a neat deal. So Colin Sullivan says, what power tools do you use in your company? Man, and I don't know if you mean brand or which ones. We've all got cordlesses. We've all got Sawzalls. We've got things like that. Cameras, sewer machines. If you're talking brands, man, some of us use DeWalt. Some of us use Milwaukee. Some of us use Rigid. That's about it. We're professional grade, good stuff. a little bit of everything. So I like that. Neil says, I'm unsure what I can offer at the moment, mate, apart from posts and behind the scene videos on the community feed for members as the odd members live stream. And we're looking at that. What can we do different? And, I almost want to R&D, rip off and duplicate. Find, which look, Nick and them do great memberships. I'm a member, God, I think I'm a membership of 4 different people. And I need to go in and look what they do and see what I could do that would be beneficial. I don't want just to create something to make money, not just to make money, unless I can bring extra value. So we're looking at ideas, but I think that's cool, Neil. Congratulations. Yeah, John, you're right. Jeff's done some cool stuff. HVAC, man, I saw this coming. What is your guys' opinion on air minutes valves over proper vents? To me, I see uses such as inside islands. Our old house, they had one installed on the washer standpipe, however. And, the thing is, look, plumbers are going to get, and I don't want to use the word lazier. They're going to start saying, look, I can put this vent under the sink. I can put this vent in the wall as long as there's an access door. I can put it right in the attic, right above the header. We can save time. We can save material. So if we're saving labor and material, we're saving money. So I think you're going to see them more and more. A lot of good things about them, but there's also questions because I've had to go over here and change them out not far away in the ceiling of a commercial building because they were spurting water. So how in the heck water got up there, I don't know, but there was water in a horizontal line overhead, and I guess it was rainwater. But every time a toilet would flush downstairs, it would start spitting it out overhead and start dripping down. So, man, they don't always work as well as they're supposed to. Okay, so JNX Maddox says PEX is definitely the best. We do repops with it. Absolutely. We're off to PEX. There you go. Barney Films 85, 116 degrees Fahrenheit. You know why I have not applied to work with you? He's dying here at 85. You know what? I'm going to tell you, you get used to it. You get used to it. You get used to gasping for air and dripping and sweat in your eyes where you can't see. And I mean, even the AC can't get cold enough to cool it down, but it is what it is. Yeah, Sherry'd love to be in Florida right now. I'd take that too. Jeff says, in Texas, are you required to install those little expansion tanks when you install a new water heater? Never see them here in Florida or Fort Lauderdale, or never see them here in Fort Lauderdale. Not sure if required. What does it do? Okay, the expansion tanks have to be installed per code if it's a closed loop system. Most meters that we've always installed do not close the loop. So no, they don't always have to be installed, only if there's a PRV, pressure reducing valve, or if it's one of the cities that have the meters installed that allow no backflow. And at that point, they do have to. So yes, indeed. Kyron Harrison says, hey, when you were an apprentice, did your boss and other journeyman always give you crap on the stuff you don't know and call you a rookie for not knowing? I work hard and try to learn, but they are rude. Kyron, here's what I'm going to tell you, man. You are in a brotherhood. It's that you're going to get razzed a little bit. Here's the good thing. I'll tell you this. The apprentices that nobody liked, nobody'd ever say anything to. So if they're giving you a hard time, calling you a rookie, stuff like that, they're having fun with you. Enjoy it. And understand that one day you're going to have a rookie in too, and you're going to be able to communicate with him however you want. You can give him a hard time. You can make life easy on him and teach him every day. There's a lot of different ways and things that you can do, but I will tell you this. More than likely, if they didn't like you, they really wouldn't be talking to you. So congratulations. Big John says, problem is it as the UK, Roger, the plumbing is all on the left side of the bathroom. Man, that would just John, you just messed me up. I may never get over that. That's kind of crazy. Danny Kane, welcome in here, brother. And you're right. It comes with the trade. Gotta love it. Okay, lame salami. Man, I hope I got that right. Milwaukee Fuel. Look, I love it. And I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and I've got one down here, the M18 Fuel, and I love it. This one here is the Power Threader. If you hadn't seen my video on it, it was fantastic. Man, I like it. I've had good luck with it. Danny Kane says not fun, but should be harmless, and those who talk crap should help you improve. And that's it. If they call you a rookie and say, man, you can't believe you don't know this, say, well, okay, then teach me this. And hopefully they will. Hopefully you'll learn. Man, are there any specific requirements when installing a residential RV dump? Man, if you're talking about a place to dump an RV, we got them all over Texas. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm sure that there are requirements. How big is the tank? How big does the pump need to be? How long are you trying to cycle for? Things like that. And that may be something Neil can answer. But then again, he's in the UK. We're over here, so it's going to be a little bit different of an answer. But at least it will be great, common information that may be able to help you. Super J, water break. His and her shower, banging noises, cartridge issue, aqua crap. Yeah. Man, look, there's so many things when it comes to plumbing, and I love that. And we were talking about this earlier too. I'm a diagnosis guy. I mean, I'm one of these people, I walk in the house, I want to look at everything, I want to hear everything, I want to feel everything. I think it's great. But I'm a problem solver, so I really enjoy it. Okay, here we go now. Adrijo Norge says, why don't you guys use lined pipes around PEX in America? Lined pipes around PEX in America. And you may have to explain that one to me because I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. In Norway, we have to use them inside the wall. So if the pipe leaks, the water will go inside the bathroom or a water guard. Oh, so you're talking double contained. Wow. Man, that's a lot of work, I would assume. I'm trying to think. It depends on how you rough it in. And that's pretty interesting, though. That's pretty interesting. And do y'all do that on all plumbing jobs? Is that the way it is everywhere? Or just residential or just commercial or something like that? Kyron. Yeah, but it makes me feel like I'm not learning fast enough, but I feel like I'm doing the best I can. And here's the deal. Learn the best you can. The best information I can give you is when they take time to teach you something, take time to learn it. And I know that sounds simple and repetitive and all, but it's the apprentices that come up to you every other day and say, hey, man, look, I don't remember again. What is a 90? And it's like after the third or fourth day, it's like, look, I don't even need to tell you anymore. Don't worry about it. If they're going to take time to teach you, take time to learn. If you ask questions, make sure they're good questions. And I'm not one of these people, I don't say, look, no question is a stupid question. If you asked it 5 minutes ago and they answered it, yeah, it is. So my thing is take time to learn and be a student. I love the fact that you're in here. If you're in here watching, you're trying to learn, that's going to help you. And, here in the near future, they're going to say, hey, do this. Or they're going to say, wait, you don't know how to do that. And you're going to say, yeah, I do. That's when you're going to impress them, and it's going to be okay. Lame salami again. I know you're doing your best to answer some of these hard questions, but every state has their own rules and codes. So there's a different answer for every state. Yeah, absolutely. And I tell people that, look, I'm from Texas. I love the UPC. I also study the IPC. The thing is, it depends on where you're at and what jurisdiction you're at. I can tell you what I see and what I do and what we do. But, man, there's a lot of different ways to learn, a lot of different ways to teach. So you are completely right. Wacky Fours, how are we doing today? I hope everything is going well. Great to see you in here. Super J says he feels a breeze. JNX Maddox, we do expansion tanks if nowhere for an expansion valve to drain water in case it leaks. There you go. Lame Salami says, I agree. If you're a new guy, they will mess with you. Learn fast. And the learn fast is the thing. If you will learn fast, here's the deal. They want you to be productive. And if you can learn and you can become productive and you can do things without having to be told, that's huge. And I used to tell people that one of the best apprentices I ever had, he could watch me work up on top of a ladder in the ceiling. And every time I'd need something, I'd go to holler at him and he'd be standing there with it, just holding it. Like, there you go. It's like, man, I love that. So lots of different ways, but learn and improve, and you'll be good. You know, Neil, I'm not big on shark bite, but I understand the need for it. And here's the deal. If you've got pushed together fittings, you put them together in the right place, what kind of pressure are the lines going to be under? I'm not going to say no in a situation like that because you've got to think of weight too. You're not going to be running copper lines. You're not going to be doing a lot of things. So, man, it's a possibility. I still may think of Uponor. See if that's a possibility. Super Applegate says, share your best plumbing screw up. Everyone's got one. Some, many more than one. You know, I'm lucky because I learned from some pretty good plumbers. I guess one of the worst ones I ever did was lay out a commercial floor, one full column off. Man, you think that ain't bad. Luckily, we came in. I've done it a couple of times. I'll say that. Maybe it was just once. I don't remember if we caught it before we poured, if we had to come back in and recore. But that's the worst I've ever done. I have seen other plumbers or heard stories of them pulling test balls and flooding buildings, flooding a basement when they were getting ready to have a party because they were trying to do an inspection on the floors above. So, man, you always hear about one of my favorites is you hear somebody tell somebody, hey, I told an apprentice once to go upstairs and cut that valve off. And he goes upstairs with a saw and cuts the valve off and it floods the building. All kinds of different things can happen. Man, the thing is, if we look and learn and think, it doesn't always have to be bad. All right. Big John says, Adrijo Norhe, we are slow to adopt over here. These changes sound like they would really help avoid a lot of headaches. You know, and it's really funny because, and I like that, Big John, you know, because, and I had this conversation yesterday. God, was it yesterday? God, it may have been today or Friday. We were talking about the way we rough in houses compared to California, compared to North Carolina, compared to New York, a lot of different things. But, you know, the thing about it is, I look at houses now and I think, man, if I were the executive director, if I were, you know, the code writer, man, I would make a lot of things code that would make things better for homeowners. And I don't know why plumbers don't do it. I understand it'll cost a little bit more money, but you know what? We're going to charge people for it anyway. So why not give them something amazing? Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a long day. My wife didn't sleep, so I was awake in the middle of the night. No, that's no excuse, so I do apologize. Joe Jordan says, I bought a rigid K400 to unclog your drain. Using it one more time, and then it's paid off for what a plumber wanted to charge me. Joe, look, I teach people all the time how to fix a lot of things. So, man, I get it. And you know what? Those rigid K400s, that's not a bad machine. I love them for carrying up on a roof. So, more power to you, man. You're doing good. Just as here in Germany, we only press copper pipes, and only solder 1%. How's the ratio in the US? It's probably just about the opposite. We probably solder 99% and press 1%. And I say that as we get, but remember, I'm thinking commercial and everything too. We probably, I'm going to say we probably solder 80% of what we do, and it may really be more than that. Yeah, there you go. JNX Matic says, only for me, but we do solder a lot. Use ProPress when needed. Revolution says, hello, Roger. I did as one of your videos suggested, managed to fix our sink drain on your own, whereas the company here in Switzerland charged us $1,000. Well, I hope they didn't charge you $1,000 if you fixed it already, but man, I'm glad that the video helped. Lane Salami says, I tried shark bites a lot. I wouldn't recommend them at all. Yeah, 0. We have to use them on every pipe inside the wall. They come prefabricated. Okay. Revolution, I got that. And I don't know what 1000 CHF is, but let me know. Do it right. Don't use shark bite. Yeah, Neil, let me know, brother. Lame Salami says, I love pro pressing and soldering. Well, I'm in Illinois, but all states have their own. Absolutely. And that's it. And I'm not sure what part of Illinois you're in. I used to have a real good friend that was a big plumber down in Chicago or just outside of Chicago. Great guy, great company, wonderful people. So, look, there's great plumbers everywhere that you can learn from. Learn from what the people around you are doing, and you'll be fine. Tony M says, just graduated recently from high school as a plumbing student. Any tips to keep in mind moving forward? Absolutely, man. I got a whole bunch of them. They're in videos on my channel. And Tony, I'm joking, but man, look at my videos about finding a job, finding that interview, going through the interview, knowing how to start out, knowing the questions to ask, knowing the things to do. There's a lot of videos. I mean, we could literally talk for the next 28 minutes till 5:30 when I'm done. And man, I could just give you a list of things. Go watch those videos. And, one thing too, Tony, another thing, we've got that free mini course. Find that, go through that and just find out what kind of plumber you want to be. Because, I had no idea that there was a difference between residential and commercial. Had no idea there was a difference in construction and service. So for me to learn all the different things and learn it on the way while I'm learning how to do that trade, man, it was tough because I started in construction and it was a remodel. Had no idea about repair or anything like that. I thought just a plumber was a plumber. So figure out what kind of plumber you want to be first, and I really think that'll help you out a lot. Joe says, you do. We only use ProPress and use Rehow and Wave-In pipes. I tell you what, here in the Dallas area, we still solder a lot. We use ProPress, we use PEX, we use Uponor. So we're using a little bit of everything, but I still think most of it is probably copper. Yep. Got that one. You're welcome. James Carter says, hi, Roger from the UK, and find the US perspective on plumbing fascinating. Lots of talk about waste pipes. In the UK, we do it, but don't seem to discuss it that much. Well, and I guess the reason we talk about it a lot, that's a lot of our plumbing is replacing slab leaks, sewer leaks, things like that where pipes have busted under the slab. James, what kind of pipe do y'all use under slab, or are y'all's houses slab on grade? Meaning, is the concrete poured directly on the dirt, or is there a crawl space? Is there a basement? Just kind of curious because, man, we talk about it because it's a big deal and it's a lot of problems over here. Spendus says, I know zero about plumbing. I'm trying to build a new construction home in Texas. Working on the 3D floor plan in SketchUp. Who do you recommend I consult for questions? It is an ICF build. Here's what I would do is, first of all, where you're located, find a good plumber there. Are you going to build it yourself? Or are you going to have another plumber come in and talk to that plumber? That way you get information based on local code. You get information based on what can really help you there. JNX Matic says, I use a shark bite for an emergency situation to get water on until a proper repair can be made. And you know what? I think everybody will do that. It's hard for me though, because I don't carry them in my vans, but it is. Neil, I appreciate that. He says, I don't need beauty sleep. I'm looking good. He's been drinking, but it's okay. It's my buddy Neil, so we're good. See, Julie's still in here. I got in trouble already. See, y'all should have told me she was still in here because I try to blame everything on her. Thank you for waking me up in the middle of the night, baby. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. I had so much fun. I love talking to you in the middle of the night. Why can't you sleep? I don't know. Why can't I sleep? I don't know. Super Applegate, have you installed some of the new water leak detection devices? The Flow by Moen seems interesting. Any impressions? Yeah, I want you to. Super Applegate. I'm swap this one out. Julie getting on to me just went away. There you go. Thanks. Julie doesn't get on to me. She gives me a hard time, but I love it. Have you installed these? You know, I have not, but I've got to tell you, I went to the Moen booth at KBiz. Loved it. You know, look, Moen's got some great products. Their Flow, and guys, remember, I saw the Flow, I think, 3 years ago. DXV has what, Finn or something like that. There's 4 or 5 products out. Here's my problem with them. They're not waterproof. They take power. They take Wi-Fi. Meaning, you bury any of those in a box, like in a meter box where our meters are in Texas, you've got a problem. Number one, it's not waterproof. It's going to mess up. It needs power plugged in. It's going to mess up. And it needs a Wi-Fi connection. Now, there's only one product that I know of, and if anybody knows of anything different, tell me about it. But the one product that I know of is called MeterDog. And MeterDog is battery operated, and the battery, I think, lasts 7 years. It's got a cellular connection, so it communicates with a cell phone tower. And it can be submerged underwater. So it can be put on my meter, in my meter box, and life is good. And I'm just telling you, and look, I've been talking to them for 4 years. I think this thing is phenomenal. And I think this is the one that's going to put everybody else out of business. So y'all definitely check it out. And if you do, tell them you heard about it right here. Roger Wakefield. That's my name, in case you didn't know. Danny says, fire protection is now using ProPress copper. I'll tell you what, we're using it for natural gas. We've got the Mega Jaws, the gas fitting. So yeah, we've been doing this for a while. I built that. Is there any reason not to use Uponor PEX? Man, if you've got one, let me hear it. My thing is, I don't know why that didn't stick. My thing is, look, I love Uponor. I think Uponor is great. There's great things about it. I've played with it and messed with it and then expanded it. And I mean, I actually did a video here on it. So no, I think it's good stuff. Neil, I don't need your help, brother. She gets on me enough. I'm good. Trust me, don't need your help. Revolution, it's about $1,000 US. Last time a plumbing company, 3 guys came to replace the whole sink drain, open up our floor. Apparently, we could have DIY'd. You know, look, and guys, look, that's part of why I do what I do with my videos. Don't get me wrong, I want to teach plumbers the right way to do things, but you know what? There are some homeowners who are going to say, you know what? I want to try that myself. I think I can fix it. Look, more power to you. If you can, amazing. I'm glad I taught you. And the neat thing is, if you follow me step by step, you did it right. So I hope so. Thank you so much. All right. When I started, I didn't finish high school. I didn't have much choice. Try to find a good plumbing company to work for. Lots of companies will try to take advantage of you, and they will. that they will. So all I can say is keep doing what you're doing, keep trying, keep learning, and man, you'll be great. Bryson Turner says, I'm 1 year into my apprenticeship and I work under the service department. In order to get my tradesman, what would you suggest? I do in order to learn everything I need to know for your test. So Bryson, I'm assuming when you say tradesman, I'm assuming you're in Texas. Look, I recommend the UPC study guide. I've got a link to it. Go check out my video. I think I show it in the book. It may be even in my description on my channel or somewhere. That to me is the study guide that I've always used for any plumbing exam in Texas, you know, other than MedGas or something like that. But it's been great for me and I love it. And watch all these videos. It'll help a lot. Seriously. Okay, Flow Right Plumbing says, how do you deal with price resistance when you know what it's going to cost you to do it? Do you just walk away? You know what? And this is a great question. And this is a good one. I love it because you've got to sell value. And if people don't have enough, when people say no, it's because they don't have enough information or that they know that they can get it cheaper somewhere else. And at that point, if you're selling the value of you doing it right, you can't just charge more because you want to charge more. You charge more because you're bringing more value. And, you know, I tell our customers, look, our guys have insurance, they have benefits, they have holidays, we have work uniforms. Our guys are drug tested, background check, and licensed. And when you start going through everything, I've got a freaking real estate agent right here in Dallas that, God, I hate to say the company she works for, so I won't. I'll be nice. And she works with a company I do a lot of business with. But she's comparing my pricing to a freaking apprentice out there doing work for a third of the price or a tenth of the price that he should be. And then she's calling me saying, well, y'all could have done it for this. No, I'm sorry, but I'm a licensed, legit company. You're hiring a freaking quack and you want me to compete price-wise? It's not happening. Make sure people are comparing apples to apples. I know a construction guy says, look, I will beat anybody's price as long as they're doing the same thing I'm doing. And that's part of his guarantee. But he says, when I give you my quote, I want to see their quote because I'm going to look at it and say, okay, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Oh, well, they said that wasn't required or that wasn't important. Yeah, well, then you go with them, but you're going to regret it. So to me, man, I believe in showing the value in everything you do, and it'll work. Leak defense is similar to Moen Flow. The unit does need power, but is built waterproof. Okay, so think about what you said. If it still needs power, that means here in Texas, it doesn't work. Meaning I can't install it out at the meter. I can't install it at the valve box outside the house. So it does me no good unless I loop a line up into the garage to install that and then come back down. So, and I got to look at what I think's best. And look, not saying anything against leak defense. I think those products like that are fantastic, and I think they're going to be good for all of us. But I just go by what I know. And here in Texas, I need one that's waterproof, runs off a battery, and has a cellular connection because the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Guys, please just check out MeterDog and let me know what you think about it. Ben Durakovic, man, I hope I got that right. What vehicle do you think is the best when starting a plumbing business? Sorry about that. I'm going to get a drink real quick. Love that. I feel better already. E-Series cargo vans, box trucks, reading utility bed trucks. What have you owned and what do you prefer? I've had vans. I've had regular vans. I've had box trucks. I've got pickup trucks. I just ordered 2 new Ford extended cab, extra tall, loaded out. And I'm really excited about getting them in. Double puck lock, security system, navigation, tracking, you name it, it's got it. But I looked at the Hackney and I called a friend of mine and he said, Roger's like riding a stagecoach. He said, I'm in the van all day and I wouldn't do it. So I listened to his advice. Man, I'm really interested to see how these new trucks turn out. Should have two of them in here in about a month. So looking forward to it. So JNX says, I've used ProPress for galvanized pipe running gas lines. Prep for galvanized is the same as copper. It worked great. And I've used them for black screw pipe for commercial airlines. I love it. James Carter says our soil stacks go down either internally or externally straight into a long swept bin at the base to pick on the 4-inch ground. And it is at that point where the drainage specialist ground workers. So I'm assuming your plumber doesn't take care of everything. It's a different trade that does that. And that's very interesting. That's really pretty cool. Ours are the same way, vertical stacks. Everything goes down though, and underground it turns on preferably a long sweep combination, something like that. But man, it's plumbing until it's over 5 feet outside the building or all the way to the tap. Bryson Turner says, Uponor being sued right now for being installed on the hot side and having a lot of pinhole leaks. The fittings never leak, but Uponor cannot withstand high temps. See, Bryson, man, I thought that I had read their stuff was rated temperature-wise just like everybody else's. And look, I'm not saying it didn't. Man, I definitely want to try to find that and read about it, so thank you. Have you tried these hot water extenders for more water, a mixing valve on top of the tank, and cranking the temperature up to 140, again, any negative impacts to tank life? I've seen those before. I've never used them. I've heard people try to sell the heck out of them, say they're amazing. I've never used them, so I don't know. I don't know how reliable they are. Know nothing about them, but I will check into it. Sean says, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the new age of service plumbing and all the implementation of service systems. Okay, Sean, here's my thoughts. Plumbing's going to change. And I have people bust me all the time, say, look, you're just a dinosaur. You're not up for change. No, I am up for change. But I don't want to just change something to change something. If we can make it better, if we can make it more productive, if we can make it more labor friendly, if we can make it more cost effective, I'm all over it. Do I believe that, just because somebody says, look, I have something I can shove in your pipe and it's going to last forever, that doesn't mean it's going to. And how do you know it's going to last forever? What kind of testing have we done? And I have people all the time say, oh, well, if it's not broke, I can reline it and fix it. But then they get in there like, oh, well, we got to a fitting and we couldn't do it. We had to tunnel under anyway and do this. Man, I think that there are a lot of good things coming. I think there's a lot of good things already out there. But my thing is, look, keep your minds open. I fight people all the time about shark bites. I fight them about PEX B, the crimp, because the fittings reduce flow. There's a lot of things that I see out there. I don't mind PEX. I don't mind the crimp as long as it can be accessible and gotten to, as long as it's above the slab. But oversize your pipe so you don't create flow restrictions in the house. And why aren't things written that way to make that happen? And that's the stuff that blows my mind. I'll get off my high horse now. Thank you. Dante Richardson, how are you doing? I hope everything's going well. Good to have you in here. Bryson Turner says, when the install flows, it's always off the loop inside the house. There you go. Lame Salami says, I had a job where I got turned down, so the owner hired the drywall guys to do the plumbing. A week later, I got called back to fix it. Now, I told Paul Peck not to take that job. I told Paul Peck not to be doing plumbing. It's crazy. And I know Paul don't do that, so I'm playing. Neil says, congrats on 15,000 to Big John. Guys, like I said, if you hadn't subscribed to the Urban Explorer, if you hadn't subscribed to You Do It, if you hadn't subscribed to Paul Peck Drywall Tools, man, jump on those channels, subscribe. These are good people's doing great things. I love that. America's Next Best Plumber says, I started as an apprentice. These guys all skip lunch. How about you? What are your eating habits on a work day? I don't remember the last time I had lunch. Okay, and really, I'm joking. I actually had lunch with a plumber today from another company. A great guy. Just wanted to visit and talk and get to know each other. I try to eat lunch every day because I try not to eat as big of a dinner. I'm trying to watch my girlish figure, but I try to eat breakfast, which I don't hardly ever get to. I would say something about that, but I think my wife's in here listening in YouTube, so I'm not going to say anything is that it could cause a slow demise in my death or immediate demise to my body or something. Anyway, not really. But if she kills me, y'all know it was her. Here's my thing. I think plumbers should eat, even if it's just a snack, even if it's something quick. Here's the thing. We got to take care of our bodies. And I know that sounds crazy coming from a 60-year-old man with bad knees, bad eyes, bad elbows. My body hurts sometimes, but we have to take care of ourselves. When I was younger, I always took a lunch. My body needed that food. As I get older now, if I'm super busy, something may happen and I may skip a meal. I normally try not to. I'm sitting here now, as soon as you're talking about lunch, I'm thinking, man, I'm kind of hungry. So, I try not to skip many meals, and most of y'all can tell by looking at me, but I love it. Adrijo Norhe, an apprentice, you have just changed your workplace at your previous job, had your own projects and worked fast. Now I don't feel nearly as good as I was before and lost confidence. We've all got to learn. And, I've got an amazing apprentice that wants to come to work for me, but he's doing some side stuff, and I'm afraid that I can't compete and keep him happy money-wise. So I get that. But he'd have to come over here and learn a lot. And, man, and look, dude's phenomenal. Got great ideas. We've got to look at, sometimes when we change our workplace, it changes the environment around us. Sometimes we go from being a little higher up the totem pole to being a little lower down the totem pole. But the thing is, if you're learning, if you're really learning and you're growing, it's going to be good for you. So we have Miss Amy Swanson in here. Hi, Roger. 2 weeks into my plumber's helper's job, and I love it. That is fantastic. Spent a lot of time watching my journeyman work. What can I do to keep busy and learn when he doesn't want to teach? Great question, Amy. I don't know if you heard a while ago whenever I was talking about the apprentices. The best apprentice I ever had, literally, and I remember whenever I'm up on top of a ladder working on fan coil units in the ceiling, it would be like, I need 3 more 1-inch 90s. And I would turn and the guy would be like standing there holding them, already cleaned, ready to go. Now look, you've been doing this 2 weeks. You're not going to get it yet. But once you understand what it is the plumbers need, what you can do to get ahead of them, what you can do to help them, late in the day, start sweeping. And I know that sounds crazy, but look, start getting the area cleaned up if it needs to be cleaned up. First thing in the morning, if you know they normally take that tool bag over there, carry it over there. If you have questions, say, hey, is there anything I can do to help things get rolled out? At the end of the day, when they start picking up power cords, start rolling up cords. What can you do to help them get done quicker? But while they're working on the plumbing, watch them, observe, ask questions. Ask questions to learn, not just to ask questions. Why do we do that? What is the purpose of this? Things like that. And Amy, I'm telling you, man, if you get in there and learn it, This is the greatest career on earth. You'll do good. All right. I see that we are getting towards the 5.5 hour here. So do me a favor. Let's hold off on the questions. This is it right here. See, this is what it's all about. Amber Mendoza, 11. As y'all know, she's my CCR. If y'all aren't connected with me on LinkedIn, connect with me, because Tuesdays I have Julie on my lives with me. I do LinkedIn lives on Tuesday and Thursday. It was Tuesday and Friday, but we've changed that. Amber's coming in with me on Thursdays. Y'all can meet her and get to know her. So fantastic. Urban Paul, man, you're right. Paul doesn't listen to nothing. Flow Right Plumbing says retirement, sell business, or hands off with manager, or just wind it down slowly. Here in the UK, a good slice of plumbers are self-employed, working on their own. You know, and look, we all want to find a way. What do we do with it at the end of the day? And I say the end of the day, 10 years from now, what do I want to do with this? Hopefully by then I've either had the right apprentice or plumber come in that he's learned it and stepped up and doing things the way I want them done, or sell it, you or hire the right manager to bring in that keeps running it. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of ways to go, but man, there's always something but the thing is, start getting prepared for that 10 years before you want to do it, not when it's time. Then it's a whole lot easier. Danny Keene, Amy, tell him to get out of the way and let you try. And that's another good one there. I still remember, and it's funny because I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were talking about where they lived, and I said, I built those condos over there. And that's the job. And man, look, Danny, it's a great way to put it, is I remember one morning on the way to work, and here's the way my plumbing career went. Plumbing literally just clicked with me one day. Just one day, it was like, boom, I understand why. And don't get me wrong, I was 2 years into my apprentice, but when it clicked hard. And I remember being on the way to work one day thinking, wow, I got this. And when I got to the job site, this condos that I was talking about, when I got to the job site, I literally went up for our safety meeting, and the plumber talking says, okay, here's where everybody's going, do this, do this, do this. He said, Roger, you go over and get some unistrut out, or not unistrut, conduit, and start cutting stakes to secure the copper, or secure the water lines, secure the drain lines on the roof. I'll get it right in a minute. To secure the drain lines. And I just looked at him. I said, is it okay if I start roughing in the next building? And he just looked at me. He said, do you think you can do that? And I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, go for it. And that's when I knew it was good. And I guess I had proven myself up to a point, because he thought I could do it. He's like, yeah, go. So, sometimes, Danny, that's the right thing. Look, just, hey, can I do this? And Amy, let them see that you're willing to try. And ask them, will you show me how to do it once, and then watch me do it once and tell me if I'm doing it right? Big deal. Small Town Fisherman made it in before the bell. Good to see you here. Super Applegate says, any toilet brands you recommend for anti-clogs? Is Toto as good as I've heard? What do you prefer to install? Look, there's 3 brands that I really like. Now, and I'm going to say 4. Toto's phenomenal. Kohler and American Standard, all 3. Those 3 are great toilets. I've got some of them at home. Never have clog problems. Never. The other one is a Niagara. And if you go watch the video with Eddie Wilcutt, who's one of the people that taught me Green Plumbers USA, if you go watch that, he used to rep the Corona. Did he do Corona or Niagara? Maybe it was Corona. I think it is Corona. But he literally had a display set up, and he would flush a 1-pound toilet. And it's funny because when I talk Plumbers Continuing Ed, I'd always use that video, because my thing was, guys, look, if you're dropping a 1-pound toilet, a 1 pound, something as big as a 1-pound potato in a toilet, you got bigger things than to worry about than how green is the toilet. Uh, but man, it would not clog. So there's great products out there. Find what you like best. But normally, a name brand is normally going to be better. Now, I'll tell you what, I've had people talk to me about ProFlow from Ferguson, and they say, look, these are great toilets. So there's a lot of brands, there's a lot of things out there you can use. I think find one you like. But yes, Totos are that good. America's Next Plumber says, my biggest challenge is learning sizes just by looking at pipes and fittings. Is that normal to be intimidated at first? What is a good way to gain that confidence and knowledge? It's absolutely understandable. One thing I used to do is I knew that 1/2 inch pipe was like as big as my finger. 3/4 would be the next one up. 2 inch, 1.5 inch. Look, I've made that mistake before. Somebody's like, hey, go cut a piece of 2 inch, 6 feet long. I saw 1.5 inch laying there and grabbed it and cut it, and they just look at you and laugh. Yeah, it's going to take time. You can't get 10 years experience in the very beginning. It doesn't work that way. You know, I heard Gary Vee say one day, you can't get 40 years of experience in 5 years. And you can't. So my thing is learn the things you can. If you need to carry pieces home and look at them and touch them and feel them and say, okay, if I put my hand all the way around this piece of pipe, that's 1.5 inches. If my fingers won't touch, that's 2 inch. 3 inch, can't quite get my hand all the way, and 4 inch, I can't even get around halfway. Figure something out and you will find a way to do little things to make it click for you, and that will make it amazing. James K. Inney. Hey, Roger, I'm a 17-year-old graduating high school next year and want to know if I need to attend trade school or can I just start out as an apprentice? By the way, I'm interested in doing residential. You know, one big thing, and look, I know I always point people towards my plum study, you know, my free mini course, but here's the thing. If you think you want to do residential and you think you want to do new construction or service, union, non-union, I've got videos that I ask you what kind of plumber you want to be, and I do that for a reason. And my main reason behind the whole thing is you need to figure out what type plumber you want to be. I can tell you residential may be great. I can tell you commercial may be great, but service and new construction, there's things you got to look at, things you got to figure out to decide what's best for you. Then I've got videos telling you how to find a job. If you want to do residential service, look who's advertising on TV. They're probably doing the most. Sorry about that, man. It got dry and just quit working. You know, I love residential. That's what my company is. But James, I'll tell you, there's a lot of opportunity out there, and this is a great career, great trade. So good luck with it. Cody, every day. I see you aren't a fan of shark bites. I only use them to convert brass or CPVC to PEX. I just want to understand why. Cody, and it's one simple thing. We have fixed a ton of leaks that are shark bites. And I've probably fixed more shark bite leaks than any other leaks that there are on water lines. And look, I don't have anything against shark bite. I think shark bite is probably a good fitting. I don't know if there needs to be more training, teaching people how to do it right way. I get upset with real plumbers, people that have a license in their pocket, selling that as a professional installation. Man, learn to solder. Do things people. If that's all you're going to do, why not just tell the homeowner, hey, why don't you just go to Home Depot, buy this, push this together, it'll work, and not charge them $300. That's my why. You know, I think if you're going to be a professional, do a professional job, and to me, that's really all it is. Danny King says sweeping. Yes, no one is too good to push a broom. Look, I still come in early in the mornings. I empty the trash here in the bathrooms. Julie or me come in on the weekends and clean the bathrooms. Look, it's a plumbing company. We've got to do what needs to be done. And guys, it doesn't matter if you're the first year apprentice or the owner. It's got to be done, and somebody's got to do it. I have no problem jumping in doing it. Doesn't bother me. Mr. Horror Junkie 78. I currently work retail and considering going into the plumbing, but I have no experience at all. Is it a career worth considering? And if so, how do I get started? Man, like I said a while ago, I've got tons of videos out there teaching you all this, but watch them. Figure out what kind of plumber you want to be first. Plumbing is definitely worth going into. There's more people retiring than there are getting in every year. So it's supply and demand is going to make this one of the best paying jobs there is. And guys, I've been saying that for a while. JP, same answer. What's the best way to get a job as an apprentice? I have experience for a year, but it was cash. But I also went to a pre-apprenticeship program. So see, you've got enough experience there that you can jump in and say, hey, look, I can do something. So I think that's great. The wonderful Lady More Naturals in the house. How are you doing? Good to have you in here. And man, I love it when you jump in. It just makes me smile. Thanks for coming by. C. Archer, great stream. I love the concept. Man, is that what this is? Is this just a concept? This is a concept video. This is a concept YouTube channel. Man, I appreciate that. I don't even know what number it is. I think Will used to put that in. You know, this is stream number 871 or whatever it is. And I'm not sure. It may be in there. It may not be. Look, I love this. I do it because people have questions, and man, with 40 years experience, I hope I have some good answers. Hope it helps, and I hope you come back. And if you hadn't subscribed and ring the bell, people do so. That way you know what's going on. Chris says, I need to look at a new dishwasher. Any brand recommendations and features to look at or features that are unnecessary? Chris, it's all different for different people. I like one for low cost, an energy efficiency rating. I've got a Samsung that's really quiet. I like that. And really, I like that a lot more than I thought I would. I don't guess that I really noticed how loud the other one was till I put my new Samsung in. Then it was like, okay, now I see a difference. And it's a big difference. Sunshine Terry says, what is wrong with my toilet? I have to stand over and hold handle down for the duration of flushing. I would say that it sounds like you've got a bad flapper, something wrong with it. When you flush your flapper, it should lift it, and it should stay up till that water level comes down and makes it float back down. Normally, that's what it is. I've got a video, how to stop a running toilet guaranteed. That may help you. C. Archer says, I've been subscribed to this channel ever since I watched his video where he reacted to some of the most notorious plumbing fails. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Double J Double M jumped in the house. What advice will you give to someone looking for work and new construction? If you're wanting to do commercial, find the biggest commercial jobs in town, go down there and see who's doing them, go apply at those companies. If you're wanting to do residential, go to the neighborhoods like custom home builders, things like that. Drive around in there, see somebody doing plumbing, or go in and ask the general contractors, hey, who's doing the plumbing here? And go apply at those companies. Look, I love new construction. I just ended up in service, and I think for me and my career, it's a great spot for me to be. Bob Weiss says, Roger, you're correct about being apprehensive when diving into new technology head first. I've seen too many new products come and go. Amen. Bryson, what's the difference between green plumbing and regular plumbing, and what is LEED AP? Number one, it's LEED. It's Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. Green plumbing, every time we do a job, we focus on water conservation. We look at the toilets, the water heaters, the shower heads. What can we do to help people save money? What can we do to help them conserve water? It's a big deal. And LEED AP, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, accredited professional. It's a big deal. America's Next Best Plumber. I work at a marketing job where I'm paid 2 times as much as my plumbing apprentice job. When at plumbing, I'm so much happier. When I'm knee-deep in Dookie and clogged tampons. Can't wait to go full-time. It's a great job, guys. I love it. Oscar Mason. Roger, I'm a big fan from Australia. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Used to be a member of Green Plumbers USA, which started over there. So thank you, sir. I really, really do appreciate it. Just about to finish high school. Want to take a plumbing apprenticeship. Do you have any wise words for me? Man, never stop learning. No matter how long you're in it, what you do, never stop learning. All right, guys, I am fixing to get out of here. Justin says, would you consider it a hard transaction from new construction to residential? From new construction to residential service. It is, but you're going to learn things and it's going to help you do good. Been a plumber for about a year. Desired takes a number of years to get to. And it's going to take you years to learn it all. But being in construction and service both, it'll help you. William says, I'm a master plumber and work for a school district. Is it still reasonable to want to get more endorsements? Yeah. I was doing commercial work when I got most of mine, and most of mine are for residential. So absolutely. Doc, thanks for the help online. Have you ever hydrojetted kitchen lines to get rid of a drain flies for good? Man, I got to tell you, I've got a video where I hydrojet through a wall clean out. But man, kitchen flies or drain flies, that normally means there's a break under there. So I would be very careful with the hydrojetter, but I would also think about running a camera to see what's going on. Neil says, don't forget as we're nearing the end to leave a thumbs up. Guys, if you like what we're doing, please do. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't, tell me why. Send me a message. If I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something you don't like, say, hey, man, I wish you wouldn't do that, or I wish you'd do more of this. But yeah, if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. If you hadn't done it yet, please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out when we do go live or put out new videos. Lady More Natural says, I was taught new construction mostly, but I love repair. It's exciting to figure out the issues. Yes, it is. Lusek Terwilligan says, I'm a new plumber for a company that builds modular homes. Have to run pressure tests on all the work done. And if there's a leak, it's a total pain to run around with a spray bottle. I get it. Jaden Kirk, watch all the videos you can, brother. Watch all you can. Guys, y'all keep adding questions, so I'm going to hop on out of here. I'm never going to get caught up, but I am trying. James, yes, you do get paid as an apprentice. That's big. Neil, got one headed your way. I'll get in touch with you. Guys, look, again, if you love what we're doing, please do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell if you hadn't done it. If you have not connected with Neil, the Urban Explorer, one of my mods, Neil, thank you so much for being here. Paul Peck Drywall Tube was in here earlier. And there's another one. Oh, you do it, Big John. And subscribe to these channels. Great people in here. Neil, William, Julie, everybody, Paul, thank you all for what y'all do. I do appreciate it. And, man, I love doing what I do. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you come back next week and do it again. And like I said, check out some of my videos. Watch them. Let me know what you think. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the Expert Plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.